It all started with one midnight phone call that changed everything. Yandy Smith was half asleep when her phone started buzzing. Not once, not twice, but over and over. The name flashing on the screen made her stomach twist. Sierra. Mendeecees' phone had been left charging on the dresser, and that call wasn't for her. What Yandy heard next would shatter the quiet of the night and the trust she'd spent years building. Within minutes, the calm turned into chaos. Voices rose, doors slammed, and what was once a peaceful home became a war zone. Yandy's hands shook as she demanded answers. Who is she to you, and why is she calling at midnight? She screamed. Mendeecees tried to defuse the situation, mumbling something about a business call. But Yandy wasn't buying it. Not this time. The next morning, whispers spread across production. Crew members couldn't stop talking about how Yandy stormed out of the house, leaving her ring behind. Sierra, on the other hand, was seen smiling, telling everyone it was just a misunderstanding. But fans aren't convinced, and neither is Yandy. What started as a simple call has now spiraled into one of the most explosive confrontations this season. Lies, betrayal, and secrets are surfacing fast. And everyone's asking the same question. What did Mendeecees hide that made Yandy finally snap? It was a little past midnight when Yandy's world began to unravel. The night had been peaceful, the kind of rare calm that comes after weeks of filming and long emotional days. Mendeecees was knocked out cold beside her, his phone glowing faintly on the nightstand. But then the vibration started. Once, twice, 3 times in a row. The screen lit up with a name Yandy instantly recognized. Sierra, at first, she tried to ignore it. Maybe it was an emergency. Maybe it was something for the show. But when the call came through a 4th time, curiosity turned to suspicion. Who's calling you this late? She murmured, nudging Mendeecees' shoulder. He stirred but didn't wake up. The phone buzzed again. Yandy reached over, hesitating for a split second before she answered. Her voice was low. Hello? There was a brief pause, then a soft laugh on the other end. This isn't who I was trying to reach. The voice was unmistakably Sierra's, confident, flirty. It's far too casual for someone calling at midnight. Yandy's heart started to pound. It's Yandy. Why are you calling my husband at this hour? Sierra went silent for a second, then replied, Oh, it's not like that, girl. I just needed to ask him something quick about the event next week. But Yandy wasn't buying it. You needed to ask him about an event at midnight. You think I'm stupid? She snapped. Before Sierra could answer, Yandy hung up and turned toward Mendeecees. Wake up, she said sharply, shaking his arm. He blinked groggily. What's wrong? What's wrong? She repeated, her voice trembling with fury. You tell me why Sierra is calling your phone at midnight. He frowned, still half asleep. Sierra, what are you talking about? She's probably calling about the promo shoot. The promo shoot. Yandy's tone cracked. You think I'm dumb enough to believe that? She was laughing. Mendeecees laughing. He rubbed his eyes, frustrated. Yandy, you always think somebody's trying to come between us. Sierra's cool people. She don't want me. Yandy got up from the bed, pacing. Don't play me. I know when a woman's crossing a line, and that call wasn't innocent. Mendeecees sighed, his patience wearing thin. You making something out of nothing. I've known Sierra for years. We've worked together. Why would I mess that up? Yandy stopped pacing and looked him dead in the eyes. Because you've done it before. The room fell silent. That one sentence hit harder than anything she'd said all night. Mendeecees looked down, jaw tightening. That's low, he muttered. No, Yandy said, her voice breaking. What's low is watching me question my worth because you can't be honest. The next morning, Yandy didn't speak to him. She left early for set, her eyes swollen but her posture fierce. The entire ride there, she replayed the conversation in her head, Sierra's tone. The sound of that laugh, the way Mendeecees brushed it off like it was nothing. By the time she walked into her dressing room, producers already sensed something was off. You okay, Yandy? One of them asked softly. She forced a smile. I'm fine. just tired. But everyone knew she wasn't. A few hours later, Sierra showed up on set, oblivious to the storm she'd walked into. She was laughing with the makeup artist when Yandy appeared in the doorway, arms crossed. The laughter stopped instantly. "Oh, hey, Yandy," Sierra said, trying to sound casual. "You look cute today. Caught the act," Yandy said flatly. "We need to talk." Sierra blinked. "About what?" "About last night," Yandy shot back. "Why you calling my man at midnight?" The crew froze. You could hear a pin drop. Sierra let out a soft laugh. "Oh, that. Girl, you overreacting. I was working on some plans for the event and needed Mendeecees to confirm something." "Chill." Yandy stepped closer, her eyes narrowing. "Don't tell me to chill. You think I don't see what you're doing? You've been getting a little too comfortable around him lately." Sierra crossed her arms, smirking. "Comfortable? Yandy, nobody wants your man. You're doing too much." That was the wrong thing to say. Yandy's voice rose, trembling with anger. "Don't play with me, Sierra. I've seen the way you look at him when you think I'm not watching." "Girl, please," Sierra shot back. "Maybe you should check your man instead of coming at me." The crew scrambled to keep the cameras rolling. This was the kind of drama that didn't need scripting. Mendeecees walked in at that exact moment, eyes widening at the scene. "What's going on?" he asked, his voice caught between shock and exhaustion. Yandy turned on him. "You tell me. Your little business partner here thinks it's cute to be calling you after hours." Sierra threw up her hands. "This is ridiculous. I don't have to deal with this." "Then don't." Yandy yelled. "Walk away before I make you." Security moved in, sensing things were seconds away from getting physical. Mendeecees tried to step between them, but Yandy shoved his arm away. "No, let her hear me. I'm done being the calm one." Sierra rolled her eyes. "You sound insecure." That word insecure sent Yandy over the edge. "You have no idea what I've sacrificed for this man." She screamed, pointing at Mendeecees. "And you want to act like I'm crazy for protecting what's mine?" Mendeecees tried to defuse it again, his tone pleading. "Yandy, it's not like that." She really was calling about work. But Yandy shook her head, tears spilling now. "Then why did she sound nervous when I answered? Why'd she hang up the second she heard my voice?" No one said a word. The air was heavy. Even Sierra didn't have a response this time. Finally, Yandy whispered, "You lied to me, Mendeecees. You said you'd never make me feel like this again." And just like that, she turned and walked out, leaving both of them standing there in stunned silence. Mendeecees exhaled deeply, rubbing his face. "This is getting out of hand," he muttered. Sierra leaned against the counter, her voice calm but cold. "Well, maybe if you'd told her everything, we wouldn't be here." He looked up sharply. "Told her what?" Sierra smirked. "You really want to go there?" The tension that followed was unbearable. Mendeecees stood in silence, trying to read Sierra's expression. But her smirk said everything she knew, something he didn't want getting out. Cameras had already started rolling from the corner of the set, picking up every word. This wasn't how things were supposed to go. What started as a misunderstanding was spiraling into something much darker. "Sierra," Mendeecees said carefully, his voice low. "What are you trying to say?" She tilted her head, pretending to think. "I'm just saying, maybe if you had told Yandy about that night, she wouldn't be so suspicious now." His face went pale. "Don't start." "Oh, I'm not starting anything," Sierra said with a shrug. "But I'm not going to be the one taking all the heat for your secrets. You told me to keep quiet, remember?" The producer's eyes widened. The crew exchanged looks. Whatever Sierra was talking about wasn't scripted. This was real. Mendeecees clenched his fists. "You need to stop talking right now." Sierra smirked again, stepping closer. "Why? You scared she's finally going to find out the truth?" Before he could respond, Yandy burst back into the room, still furious, still shaking. "Find out what truth?" Mendeecees froze. Sierra turned, her expression unreadable. Yandy's voice cracked. "What is she talking about? What are you hiding from me, Mendeecees?" He took a deep breath, running a hand over his face. "It's nothing." She's trying to stir stuff up for the cameras. Sierra scoffed. Oh, please. You think I want this on camera? You think I want to be dragged into y'all's drama again? You made the choice, Mendeecees. You said enough. He barked, his voice echoing through the studio. The room went quiet again. Yandy stepped closer, tears in her eyes. You said what? Mendeecees? What did you say to her? He looked at her helplessly. Yandy, please. It was months ago, okay? Before all this filming started, Sierra and I, we hung out. That's it. We hung out. That's it. Hung out? Yandy repeated, her voice trembling with disbelief. Define hung out. Sierra folded her arms. You want details? He came to my hotel room after the wrap party. We had drinks, we talked, and maybe it got a little too friendly. But it wasn't what you think. Yandy's entire body went still. Her hands shook, but her face hardened. You think I'm stupid? Sierra held her ground. I'm not saying we slept together. I'm saying it was inappropriate. And he knows it. The air in the room shifted. Even Mendeecees couldn't hide the shame in his eyes. Yandy took a shaky breath. You told me you'd changed. You told me all that was behind you. That you were done embarrassing me on camera. I am done. Mendeecees yelled. I didn't cheat on you, Yandy. I messed up. Yeah, but it wasn't like that. Sierra muttered under her breath. That's not what you said the next morning. Yandy's jaw dropped. Oh my God, she whispered. Mendeecees turned to Sierra, his voice dangerous. You need to stop lying before you regret it. Sierra took a step back, but didn't back down. I'm not lying, Mendeecees. You told me you were tired of pretending everything was perfect. You said you didn't even know if Yandy still saw you the same way anymore. Yandy's eyes filled with tears again. So that's how you talk about me when I'm not around. After everything I've done for you? He reached for her hand, but she pulled away like his touch burned her. Don't, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Don't touch me. Everyone in the room was silent. Even the crew looked uncomfortable now. Sierra turned away, clearly realizing she'd said too much. I'm done, Yandy said finally. You can both have the cameras, the lies, the fake apologies. I'm not doing this anymore. She walked off set, slamming the door so hard the sound echoed through the hallway. Outside, Yandy's tears finally spilled over. Her makeup smeared as she sat on a bench near the trailers trying to catch her breath. She didn't even notice the camera still following her. She was too deep in her emotions. I believed him, she said quietly. After all these years, I really believed he was different. Inside, Mendeecees sat down heavily on the couch. You just couldn't keep your mouth shut, huh? He said bitterly. Sierra rolled her eyes. Don't blame me for your choices. You made your bed. He looked at her, anger flashing in his eyes. You knew what that night meant. It was a mistake. I told you that. Yeah, but you didn't say that when you were texting me the next morning, Sierra shot back. He stood up, pointing at her. You're trying to ruin my family because you can't stand being irrelevant. Sierra laughed coldly. Your family was falling apart before I ever called. Don't pin that on me. The producer stepped in, his voice stern. All right, that's enough. We're cutting here. This is going too far. But Mendeecees wasn't done. You think this is funny? He said, stepping toward her. You just destroyed the only good thing I had left. Sierra's voice softened for the first time. Then maybe you should have protected it better. The room went dead quiet again. The damage was done. Later that night, footage of Yandy crying outside leaked online. Fans immediately jumped to her defense. She deserves better. One comment read, Mendeecees stays embarrassing this woman. Others pointed fingers at Sierra, calling her messy, jealous, and a homewrecker. But behind the scenes, Yandy sat in her car, gripping the steering wheel with trembling hands. He made me feel crazy for suspecting him, she whispered to herself. And now it's all true. Her phone buzzed again. A message from Mendeecees. Please don't do this on camera. Let's talk privately. Yandy stared at that screen for a long moment before locking the phone and tossing it onto the seat. I'm done talking. She muttered, but what she didn't know was that Sierra wasn't finished, not by a long shot. The next day, she was about to drop something that would shock everyone, even the producers. The sun had barely risen over Atlanta, but Yandy had been up all night pacing, thinking, and replaying Sierra's call over and over again. Her phone buzzed relentlessly with messages from people wanting to check in. But deep down, she knew half of them just wanted the tea. The story was out. Mendeecees' name was trending again, and this time it wasn't about business or family. It was about betrayal. Mendeecees was sitting on the edge of their bed, his hands folded, his voice low. "Yandy, you really think I'd throw away everything we built over something that ain't even real?" he asked, his tone tired but defensive. Yandy's eyes were red from crying, but her voice was steady. "Mendeecees, it's not about what's real. It's about what people saw. You know how this looks? You in Sierra's car at midnight, no explanations, no context, just vibes and rumors. Do you even understand how that feels?" He sighed, rubbing his face. "I told you. She called me upset about her situation with BK. She ain't got nobody she can talk to right now." Yandy shook her head. "That's not your job anymore. You're my husband, not her therapist." Before he could respond, her phone buzzed again. It was a DM from Rashida. "Yandy, please don't let this blow up more than it needs to. Sierra's going through a lot." Yandy's blood boiled. Rashida again. The same Rashida who told her to trust the process when things first started looking suspicious. The same one who stayed silent when Sierra was spotted getting too close too. Mendeecees at that event, she immediately called Rashida. "You knew, didn't you? You knew about Sierra calling him?" Rashida hesitated. "Yandy, it's not like that. Sierra didn't mean harm. Stop defending her." Yandy snapped. "You should have come to me the minute you knew. That's what real friends do." Rashida exhaled deeply. "You're right. I should have said something. But I didn't think it would blow up like this. It always blows up like this," Yandy said coldly before hanging up. Later that day, Mona Scott called Yandy into a private meeting. The producers were in panic mode. The footage from the night Sierra called Mendeecees had somehow leaked online. A security clip from outside Sierra's studio showed Mendeecees getting into her car. No sound, just visuals. "But that was enough, Yandy," Mona said. "This storyline is spiraling out of control. Fans are already flooding social media. You need to make a statement before the wrong narrative takes over." Yandy took a deep breath. "So, what do you want me to say? That my husband's innocent? That my friend didn't cross a line? Because right now, I don't even know what I believe." Mona gave her a sympathetic look. "Then maybe you need to figure that out on camera. The fans respect your honesty, give them that." Hours later, Yandy sat in front of the confessional camera. The lights felt hotter than usual. The silence before the director's cue stretched endlessly. When the red light blinked on, Yandy looked directly into the lens. "You ever love somebody so much that even their silence hurts you?" She began, voice trembling slightly. "I thought I knew Mendeecees, every flaw, every truth. But right now, I'm realizing maybe I only knew the version he let me see." She paused, wiping her eyes. "And Sierra. I wanted to believe she was my sister in this. But sisters don't hide things like this. They don't let you look stupid in front of the world." The director whispered, "That's perfect." But Yandy wasn't done. "I'm not going to let anybody break me," she continued, her tone firming. "Not fake friends, not rumors, not lies. I built everything I have from pain and patience, and I'm not about to lose it because two people couldn't be honest." As soon as filming wrapped, Mendeecees walked in quietly. He'd been watching from the control room. "You said your truth," he murmured. Yandy nodded. "Now I need to hear yours off camera." He looked at her, finally breaking. "I messed up. Not like that, but I messed up. I shouldn't have answered her call, shouldn't have gone there. You didn't deserve that kind of doubt." For the first time in days, Yandy didn't respond with anger. She just sighed. "You didn't cheat, but you betrayed my peace, and that's just as bad." Mendeecees reached for her hand. "I'll fix it." "Then start by cutting off Sierra," she said firmly. No calls, no texts, no explanations. I need to see that you choose us this time. He nodded slowly. Done. But as Yandy walked out of the studio later that night, her phone buzzed again, an anonymous message with a video attachment. The preview image froze her heart. It was Sierra and Mendeecees from that same night, sitting way too close in the car. The caption read, "You didn't see everything." Her fingers trembled as she locked her phone. This wasn't over, not even close. The cracks in Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage have always been tested by the pressures of fame, loyalty, and temptation. But this time, it feels different. Sierra's late-night call has done more than just spark rumors. It's reopened old wounds and shattered the fragile trust Yandy fought to rebuild. And with that mysterious video leak, the real story might be darker than anyone expected. What did Sierra really want from Mendeecees? Why was Rashida trying so hard to cover it up? And most importantly, who leaked that footage and why now? Was it Sierra herself? Or someone much closer, trying to destroy Yandy's peace from within, as Yandy prepares to confront the truth head-on? The next episode promises explosive revelations, emotional breakdowns, and betrayals that will change every friendship on set. Because in this world, loyalty is never free. It always comes with a price. Stay tuned. Because when Yandy finds out who really set this up, she's not holding back anymore. This time, it's personal. Not holding back anymore. This time, it's personal.